Hello, my name's Adam Cook. I'm here with Ryan King, who has played Mass Effect Andromeda. Ryan, how the hell is it? Is it good? Please tell me it's good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And I actually went into this, just as a bit of backstory, the previous three Mass Effect games I went into knowing literally nothing about them, because I kind of had self-imposed media blackout, didn't want to know anything about them, blah, blah, blah. Mass Effect Andromeda is kind of weird, because I think even if I did want to know something about it, like, EA said so little about it up to this point. I kind of went in with no expectations at all. I just thought, well, if it wows me, it wows me, because after the Mass Effect 3 ending, it kind of soured the series to me a little bit. Mass Effect Andromeda is great. Like, it's genuinely great. The things they've done with it is... they made it more open world, they made it more RPG, and they've brought back the makeover called it the Nomad. They've done everything. It's like they've reached into my mind and decided to do every single thing I wanted them to do. It's really good. Like, it's really good.
Did you play?
I'm really excited.
Did you play on PS4?
Yeah, it was on... No, sorry, this was on PC, but it was through an Xbox One pad. That's why I got a bit confused.
Only reason I asked is because, like, the footage people are seeing as you talk here, it's incredibly smooth. Like, it's 60 frames. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And I just wondered, like, if it's on a PC, then that makes sense, But I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was the PC version, but with Xbox One pad.
Okay, so did you get a sense of feeling for any of the stuff? Because I agree with what you said. Like, even if you wanted to know what was going on, unless you like real deep dive, it's a bit like I don't know what this game is. Like, what's the story? Do you get any sense of that? Because you did, I believe, you played the start.
Yeah. So what they've done for this one is Mass Effect 1 to 3 was obviously its own trilogy. That was a story of Shepard. Shepard's gone. He's dead. He's not coming back. This is about someone you call Pathfinder. And I think the story is, I'll tell you why I say think in a second. I think the story is that you're on this ark. This ark has gone to another galaxy, and you have to try and find your home amongst this new alien planets, this new alien world, and all these alien creatures. And the reason I say think is it's not entirely clear. I think it's one of those things where, if you're playing it and you get the full context of the intro, what's happening, you get to play at your own pace, it makes a bit more sense. But obviously, the environment you play in, you're a little bit rushed. You don't really fully grasp entirely what's going on. But by and large, you play as the Pathfinder. You're trying to find a new home for humanity in this new galaxy, which is called Andromeda, hence the name. And you don't have to have played the previous three, which I think is quite important.
How? Because I obviously I'm a big fan of them as well, and the first game was more RPG than shooter, and then afterwards they just went, we're a third-person cover shooter with magic, space magic, and I'm curious, again, just based on what you've played, does it continue down that path, or does it? Are there any more RPG elements in, or is it just like no, that is what we were, and that is what we are still?
Well, you know what? It's kind of weird, because before I played it, we had a presentation from the producer, Fabrice, and he was really keen to emphasise the fact that they were bringing back the RPG side of it. And I can see, I can kind of see where that's come in. So when you push through... So the first planet I played on was called Habitat 7. Idea being that it's one of these planets which has been scouted for settlement, for humanity, one of these possible target areas, as it were. And as you move through, you kind of have these optional side quests which ping up as you play. Like, there's this flare that goes up in the sky, and then Pathfinder's like, oh, I wonder who fired that. Let's go and find it. So that's kind of the RPG side of it, is the structure of the game's more RPG. But having said that, what you just said about the space magic, that's all still there. It's still got the moves that you had in the previous game. So, like, you could pull someone in the air or throw them, and then you could walk to them and melee attack them. That's still there.
Does that feel any better?
In the previous game, what they used to, in the previous game, what they used to do was they used to have it so you could combine your attacks.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the things that kind of pushed it more into action territory. They definitely haven't scaled back on that. One of the things they have done is have little combo notifiers that come up when it happens. I think it says like biotic combo or tech combo, depending on obviously the skills used and the skill tree. Basically what they've done is they've ramped up the action side of it, and by that I mean they've given you more moves to play around with. I think what Fabrice meant with he was bringing back the RPG side is just in terms of what you're actually doing rather than gameplay, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I know it's weird to make a distinction between the two, but
no, I get you.
Think that's,
So, I mean, because the one thing I always felt about the action, sort of, like you say, space magic, is I don't ever feel it. I kind of used to revert back to just it being a shooter. Like, I never really felt like I was using all that perhaps to the best of its abilities. And I don't know if that was me or the game. Does it again? Are we talking same sort of thing, or I mean, there must be more options now, like the space magic wise. There must be more of it, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I had a quick route around the menu and I had a look at what moves are available. I'd say, and don't take this as fact, this is a very rough guess. I'd say it's about 75% the same moves as it were before. There are definitely new ones in there. There was Trip Mine, Flamethrower. There are a few new ones. I think I'd like to be more confident with that claim, but I think I'm getting a little bit confused in my memory of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
Yeah.
Obviously, they started adding in loads of random moves. But by and large, it's kind of the same move list. I think the big difference is you can now jump, and one of the things you can do is you can jump and hover in the air, and you can shoot while in the air. So what you can do is if there's an alien behind cover, you can jump up, hover, and then shoot down past that cover. It's kind of weird because I totally get what you're saying, by the way, about the space magic, and I was kind of the same. And I thought a lot of that was to do with the balancing of the game. I thought there were some biotic moves which are so overpowered and then some which were completely useless in comparison. I don't know yet, because obviously it was only a few hours I got to play with it, if they've solved that problem, but definitely it seems like you'll still be shooting for the majority of it. I think the big difference is it now feels more like a vertical shooter because you can jump up, you can hover, you can shoot, and also there's a lot more up and down terrain. I think that's the bigger difference, really.
Some reason when you said that, it reminded me of that Bandai Namco game. Was it Inversion? I think.
Oh god, do you know what? I saw someone else play it for like 10 seconds. I thought, yeah, that's my fill. Thank you.
Because I think the move. I want to again. It's been a while actually, really, for Mass Effect. I think that's why it's been difficult to get sort of either. It's been difficult to sort of stay in the middle. You either get so hyped or you're trying to ignore it almost, and I think that's because it's been such a long time. But I think the move I vaguely remember using was some sort of stasis field where I could basically freeze them and then I'd just be able to shoot them a lot. It does. I don't want to, the PR spiel. I don't want to give a PR sort of phrase, but does it feel like evolution rather than revolution then?
I think it's too early to say.
Okay.
I think what they've done is basically they've taken the bits of Mass Effect 3, like the combat there that I enjoyed the most, and they've added to it. My concern is, and again, this is the kind of thing that I won't really know until you play the full game, is whether you'll fall into a routine where it just becomes like, I'll jump, I'll shoot him, I'll use my tech moves here, blah, 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 and so on. Because I did feel definitely towards the end of Mass Effect 3, most encounters became fairly routine. Like I'd say, 9 out of 10 of them played out the same way. One thing they have done, actually, one change which we'll see if people take to it or not, is you're no longer locked into a certain class.
Oh.
So, before you played a soldier or adept, and then that was your class, etc. Now you can mix and match. So maybe that will be what encourages people to, develop their own play style more than it would have been being locked into a character specialisation. But I'll be honest, I kind of like the character specialisation thing, so we'll see how it plays out.
That sort of stuff does help with it giving the RPG feel. But I guess, listen, if you want to know more about Mass Effect Andromeda, Ryan's written an extensive preview and spoken to the development team. There's an interview. Ryan, where can people find you on Twitter?
At Nomad Ryan.
And they can just bombard you with questions about Mass Effect? I'm sure you won't mention you played it or anything, so...
Yeah, I mean, far away. Like, I played about 2-3 hours of it. It felt like it was the full game I was playing. I don't know, but I think being this close to release, it probably was. But I've definitely played enough to answer questions. I've played all the previous ones. I am a bit of a nerd, sad to say, so yeah, if you want to bombard me with questions, go for it. And if you want to out-nerd me as well, go for it.
Cool, well, Ryan...
Mass Effect better as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. Thank you for your time, Ryan. And yeah, follow Nomad Ryan, and we'll chat to you in the next video. Bye-bye.